Go. It says go on my screen, so I am going. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Let me see. This morning is I've got to gather myself together. Things are happening all over the place here. Right, today is Thursday morning, and it is the spirit world sees all, and boy, don't they ever see all. I've had so many experiences this week, people having consultations and being shocked, as have I been, with because as much as I know that the spirit world sees all, when you actually hear them say things and relay things, and it's shocking, it's stunning, it's thrilling, it's all of those things. Anyway, before we begin the show, excuse me, and before I elaborate more, which I may or may not do, first of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Gregor, who is, as always, standing to my right side. Many of you will see this as my left side. It's that I don't know how to turn the camera around. So anyway, so here we are. And then let me see. I'd also like to say good morning to Chris, who is having one or two little technical issues, but we'll share that in a moment. And I'd like to say good morning to all of you out there. Also, I have a little guest. Hello. This is Mary Lou sitting here. She came to help me a little bit this morning, and anyway, so she's staying for the show. So, oh gosh, what have we got to talk about? Well, I think the first thing I need to tell you is this. Chris, is there anybody there? Am I talking to anybody, or am I talking?
Oh, you always have a few people that are in before we even go live, but yeah, everybody's still logging in.
Okay, all right. So I will mention this again in a few minutes, but for those of you who are in the chat room and asking questions, and very often Chris will reply to those questions. She won't answer the questions, but she'll reply, letting you know that, either you're up next or whatever. Anyway, her keyboard is not working. She has two keyboards. One, the letters keep sticking, which is the one she's having to use. And the other one, excuse me, the fancier one, which is wireless, she put new batteries in it, and for some reason or another, it's not connecting. It's somehow or another not matching up with her computer. I don't know about these things anyway. I make a point of excuse me, I make a point of not wanting to know about all those technical things. Somebody might ask me to help them, and I'm not good at that stuff. But anyway, suffice it to say, when you get a reply in the chat room, it's from Chris, and sometimes she says some of the letters will be missing. So you have to be geniuses this morning. You have to try and figure out. She's going to do, obviously, quick answers if she can. I think, okay, maybe she'll use emojis, thumbs up or a smiley face. I don't know what she's going to be doing. But her keyboard is sticking. So if she does type something in for you, bear in mind that some of the letters might not arrive on the screen as they should. So, all right. So before we begin, right, we're going to go back to this last weekend. My grandson, Reese, people want to know how to spell his name all the time, and it's a Welsh spelling, R-H-Y-S. It's not the R-E-E-S-E thing, or R-E-E-C-E, that many people use. It is a Welsh name, and his second name is after my father, who's also very Welsh, and so he has a Welsh name. But anyway, he was up in the mountains with his friends. I think there were 7 or 8 kids up there, up in the mountains skiing. My daughter rented a house. She went up with a friend of hers who brought her 2 kids, and then other kids came from other places, and they had a blast. They were skiing. They had a birthday party on Saturday night. For Christmas, Reese got a karaoke machine, which Samantha took up there, and so I've got this great video of all these kids screaming into this karaoke machine and jumping up and down and having a blast, having a lot of fun. So that was great. Yesterday was his birthday, so that was good. Unfortunately, he had to go to school, but fortunately, he really liked to go to school because he's a member of the orchestra, the school orchestra. And so he said to his mum, "Can I take cupcakes?" And so Samantha had to get 48 mini cupcakes, which Reese couldn't believe. He said they went so fast. When he took them into the orchestra, they went so fast. And he played a recital. So they had a school concert with the school orchestra, and Reese played a piano recital, which he thoroughly enjoyed. And then they all went out to dinner, and I was part of it. Samantha called me in the morning. He was allowed to open one present, and it just happened to be the gifts that one of the gifts I'd sent him. And then they went back home after school and opened more gifts, and on the day went. And yes, so now, as well as celebrating my grandson's birthday, what else are we celebrating? So we're celebrating Valentine's Day. Now, excuse me, I did say last week, I can't remember the last time that anyone ever sent me a Valentine's card. Now, I'm not sure that this is a Valentine's card, but however, and apparently the writing's back to front, so I'll sort of read the front for you. Do you remember last week I was talking about being tolerant, being kind, sending love, sending arrows of love, not darts of poison, please, but sending arrows of love to our loved ones maybe not to our loved ones, to those people who we maybe don't quite like as much as we should. And instead of sending out vitriol and hate and meanness and unkindness, which is what has been going on in this world, over the last year or so, instead of sending out all of those awful, mean thoughts, I thought it would be really nice if we worked hard, became the more spiritual people that I know we want to be. And I know that you're watching this show, so because you're watching this show, I know you want to know more about the spiritual side of things and how to become more spiritual, how to become more aware. And sending out hate and negativity and mean things is not the way to do it. So I said, I'd like you all to try at least once a day, and you can have as many people in a day as you can think of, and sending out, just visualize these lovely arrows of love going out, especially to the people that you really don't care for so much. And I also talked about what I say to my students all the time. When we're asked to do things, it's easy when it's easy, right? If somebody says to me, "Can you cuddle me?" I'm in there. I'm in it. I'm in. If my grandson says, "Can I have a cuddle, Mosey?" I am in. It's easy when it's easy. But if someone I don't so much care for says to me, "Can I have a hug?" I have to think twice about it. It's not so easy when it's hard. So what I'm promoting here, all of this month and hopefully next month and the month after, all the way along, what I'm trying to get through to people is that your negative thoughts and your, sometimes meanness, and I'm just as guilty as everybody else. If you're driving along the road and some idiot pulls in front of you and is an idiot, and you idiot. Not so. It's not so easy when it's hard, is it? So we all have those negative thoughts, but what I'd like everyone to do is to try to work on being nicer, being more positive, being kinder, and being more tolerant, and allowing other people to have their own opinions about things. Not everybody thinks the same as I do. Not everybody thinks the same as you do. That doesn't mean they're thinking incorrectly. It just means they're thinking differently. And we should be much more tolerant of people who don't agree or don't see our point of view. That's my thought. Anyway, so I asked all of you just send out thoughts and so on. Well, guess what I got in the mail the other day? And I'm going to show it to you. It's an amazing card. I don't know how clearly you can see it, but there are arrows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arrows. And the thing says, follow your heart. So I'm taking these as arrows of love. And they come from my lovely, lovely daffodil man. So, Eric, I don't know if you're on, if you're listening, but I'm taking this as a Valentine card because I've already said I can't remember the last time I had one. So this is for me 1 in a million. I'm taking it as a Valentine card. Lots of love. Valentine cards don't have to be the romantic sort. Loving doesn't have to be the romantic sort. Loving is just being kind, being loving to people, being tolerant, being understanding. So, Eric, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. It made me smile. All those arrows all coming at me. Wow, boy, did I ever feel that. All right, so Chris, you've said we have people there, so let's go see who we've got.
Okay, we do have a couple of people in the chat room right now who are speaking probably Italian, so we need to get them to speak some English in the chat room. That would be great.
Well, let me before you say any more, then let me just say, whatever language you're using, if it's not English, we don't understand you. So go to Google. Google will, if you put in the words and ask Google to translate, it will translate your words into English so we can understand. We are not going to do it for you. We don't have the time to do it. So if you want, I love the fact that people come from all over the world. And I really would like to know and to share what you have to say to us. Google language works, but you guys have to do it and then type it in for us, or however you do, cut and paste it in for us so we know what you're talking about. So, Chris, keep going.
All right. The first comment is from Mark. Hello, I have come down with a horrible chest cold and can barely move. This hurts my body so much. And I received a call from my dermatologist, and a biopsy they did in the back of my leg says cancer has returned. Not a great day to be alive today.
Okay, Mark, now listen to me, my darling. Listen, listen, listen. Every day is a great day to be alive. It's just that some days are more difficult than others. So I'm sorry you're feeling horrible and rough and all the rest of it. Lots of honey, 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 honey. And I'm going to give you my drink. I'm going to give you the recipe. So get your pens ready. I'll do it in a few minutes. Get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to give you my drink, which is going to help you and it's going to make you feel so much better. That's the one thing. The cancer is back, but curable. Don't worry, my darling. Go get it fixed. It's a great day to be alive because look, here I am. How can it not be a great day when I'm talking to you, you're communicating with me? That's got to be a great day, sweetie. And I want you to think about that, and I want you to think of whatever's going on, whatever happens, it will continue to be a great day. So please, darling, don't be so down. I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of arrows tipped with love. Okay, Chris.
Shamanth says February 3rd would have been the 25th birth anniversary of my departed brother in law, Nagesh, who passed away in 2020. Is there any message from him to us? We miss him immensely.
There are no messages. I'm listening carefully. There are no particular messages. Give me a minute here. I just caught sight of someone. I don't know who this is. Give me a second. Right. So it's right. So here is the message for you. I was going to say there are no messages, but here is the message. It's still his birthday. He still wants to celebrate. He wants you to celebrate with him, and he'd like you to be joyful, because where he is he tells me, or Gregor tells me, is helping him. It's wonderful here. It's wonderful. So please celebrate the day. I mean, it's sad. We miss our loved ones dreadfully, don't we? But knowing that they are here with us, knowing that they are right by our side is. I had a lady the other day. I was doing a consultation, and she was having some issues with some of her family, and some maybe not very nice issues. And her mother in the spirit world was very, I mean, boy, was she ever clear and right there. And this young woman said, I'm afraid if I let go of them, I won't have any family. And her mother replies, and what do you think I am? Because I'm still here and I'm still with you. So even though when we think we're alone, even though we are loath to, when negativity comes at us, when we have toxic people around us, and believe you me, I know that feeling very well. When we have toxic people around us, letting go is just the best thing, because toxicity, there you are, I said it, toxicity is killing, it's destructive, it's destroying. And letting go of that toxicity, even if it means letting go of some people, is so often the right thing to do, because what we need to do is we need to fill our lives with positive thoughts and light and love and sunshine. And if we have people who are trying to bring us down or to use us or to destroy our efforts at that, we as much as it's sometimes hard to do, we have to let them go. Chris.
Maggie's asking, my son-in-law is looking for another job. Will the right one come to him?
Maggie, do you think I'm a fortune teller? You should know better than to ask me this question, even though the answer might be yes. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me to be a fortune teller. I do love you, Maggie. Keep going, Chris. We're moving on.
Carol says you're looking wonderful today.
Oh.
Classy as usual. I'm happy to be here.
Good, thank you.
Let's see. And Maggie says she loves your longer hair.
Oh, good. Good.
Wendy says I had success improving on sending love and healing to people who I might not like. But when I think about people who torture animals and children, I can't do it.
Oh, I know. It's so hard. It's easy when it's easy, Wendy. It's not so easy when it's hard. When you look at people who bully, who torture, who are mean, who whatever, what I try to do is to basically, for me, these are the issues and these are the feelings that I have. I just literally have to hand them over to God, because especially if you see it going on, my rage is such that you know, I want to think all sorts of awful things. Here's the deal. We do this in the bottom brick often, but I'm going to refer to my mother, who I can't say that she tortured animals because I never saw her do it. She certainly tortured me and others, actually sometimes physically, and but very much emotionally. And uh, it's very easy to judge when you see somebody who's mean. I can tell you that my mother was one of the meanest, the most unkind, and often cruel person that I've known. It's not quite true. I'm sure there are others who come up into that category. However, it's not my place to judge. I don't know what happened to my mother to make her that way. We don't know what happens to these people who are that way. We don't know. We know it's abhorrent, and we feel in anger and so on. But when it gets to the point where I find myself sort of becoming perhaps too angry, or certainly judgmental, I literally have to stop and remember, I don't know. I don't know what happened in the past. I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I don't know what happened to make these people the way they are. I don't like what they do, and what they do makes me angry. But at some point, I have to say to God, I, it's too hard for me. It's too hard for me. I don't want to be judgmental. I can't be judgmental. I can't judge because I don't know what happened before. And so I have to hand over to God and just let go. Let go of what I'm feeling. Let go. You've heard the phrase, let go and let God. Now, the trick to letting go and letting God, poof, and it's hard to do. Remember, it's easy when it's easy, not so easy when it's hard. The trick to letting go and handing over to God is that when you hand over to God, that's it. You're done. You're done. It's in God's hands. You put these things into God's hands. And if you trust God, if you trust in that God force, which I do, I know that some way or another, whatever is going on will be fixed. It will, it will happen. That things somehow or another, unseen by me, things will happen and things will be righted. We're having a situation now. I'm going to mention it before anybody else does. We have a situation now in this country where we're watching this saga run out on the hostages. And I heard a broadcast yesterday which basically was saying that the reason that all of the hostages haven't been released is because many are dead, or many are so emaciated and tortured and what have you, that they daren't let the world see what they did. And boy, it's sickening, it's maddening. I'm all for, if this were me, I would put a great big giant bomb over all of those awful, cruel, mean, sadistic people who have treated other human beings in this way. This is, unfortunately, this is not the first time in the world that we've seen this. We've seen this many times in many situations. And of course, for us, you can only think of Hitler and what they did, not just to the Jews, because there are many others other than the Jews who suffered, but mainly Jews. You saw them, the concentration camps. You saw the photo. Everyone's seen the photographs of those who were emaciated and so on. And as a human being, and as someone who I like to think of myself as truly human and caring and loving and kind. The horrors of this are beyond, we can't even begin to describe. And I'm just one person in this world. And thank God I don't have to make the decision to drop that bomb, because it might not be the right thing to do. I'm only one person, and I'm allowing my feelings and my anger and my frustrating, I'm allowing that to cloud my vision. And I don't see what goes on behind closed doors. None of us do. None of us who are not privy to the leaders of whichever country, and they're plotting and they're planning and they're whatever it is they're doing, we don't see the whole story. We can never actually really see the whole story. But it's so easy to get caught up in hate. And hate, we have to remember, hate is very destructive. So for me, the best way for me to handle that, and for me to center myself and to understand it is not my place to judge. Of course, we do when we see this stuff going on. But I have to, this horror, this terror, this awfulness that is going on in the world, it's too big for us small people who have no say and can't do too much. But collectively, we can hand over to God, and we can ask for God's help, for his understanding, and for his judgment. His judgment should be the only judgment. And so putting it in the hands of God, laying it out and saying, this is too big for me. I don't want to hate, because hatred is poison. I don't want to be negative, because negativity is poison. I cannot bring that around myself, because if I bring that around myself, that poison that's within me can touch my daughter, can touch my grandson, can touch my friends. I don't want to do that. I don't want to let my anger, my negativity, and the poisonous hate that can sometimes really get a hold of you, I don't want that to flow over into those I love. So this is a test for all of us. If I'm in a hall full of people and I say, hands up, all of you believe in God, pretty much every, this is my hall, people who come see me, so pretty much every hand goes up. They believe in God, or they believe in a God force. However they believe it, they believe in a force for goodness, they believe in a force for light, and they believe in a force for right. And so it's easy to put your hand up and say, yeah, I believe in God. But it's not so easy. It's easy to have faith, and it's easy to talk about it, but it's not so easy at all to live your faith. And living your faith, to me, for this is only me, I can only speak to me, but living my faith means trusting, despite the horrors, despite the terrors, despite what is going on in the world, I have to, this is me, I have to trust my God. I have to trust that God force. And I totally trust that light and goodness will prevail. So when, as far as your, people who crawl to animals and so on, I'm right with you. But I have to hand it over to God. That is my way of dealing with it, and having faith and trust that God prevails, and that God force will prevail above all else. It's not just having faith. I don't just put my hand up and say, yeah, I believe in God. I live my faith on a daily basis, and sometimes it is really not easy. But it's the only thing I want to do. Chris.
We Sprawl is asking, our father, Bell Beer, is he sending any messages for us by chance?
Um, I'm sure that he is, and I'm sure that he's around you. I'm absolutely certain of it. The love that's coming from this question and the love that's coming here is tremendous. But I don't see anyone or hear anyone. But I'm certain that he is with you, Chris.
This is from Gary. Is there a time of day that's better than others to be still or meditate?
Excuse me. Well, no. Some people like to do it first thing in the morning when they wake up. You know, I hear people say, "Oh, I don't have time to meditate." Well, get up 10 minutes earlier then. You know, set your clock for 10 minutes earlier, and just do it. Um, Nighttime, bedtime is not such a good time because we're tired and we often fall asleep, and what's the point in that? We do have our 11 a.m. healing minute. If I might remind you, we have our healing minute where wherever you are in the world, 11 o'clock in the morning is that time when we can send healing collectively. Um, when we are all like-minded, when we're all thinking the same thoughts, and even though it might be 11 o'clock is 4 o'clock in England, something like that, we're still collectively thinking. Those thoughts are gathering and they're building into the universe. So, 11 o'clock is a good time, but I would say morning is great if you can get up 10 or 15 minutes earlier and just do it. And I would say that nighttime, especially towards bed, is not such a good time because you're going to fall asleep, and that's obvious. So anytime that you feel, listen to your thoughts, listen to your feelings, listen to raise your level of consciousness and listen to those sounds or even not sounds. Listen to the silence. There is silence and we can hear silence. I know you think I'm being weird when I say listen to the silence. Silence is very, very powerful. And if we tune into that silence, we can hear that silence. We'll talk about this more when we do our tutorials, but just listen for the right time. Your soul will tell you when it is the right time. Chris.
Maria says, hi, Rosemary. I have a quick question. I've been feeling something different lately. It's like a void. I can't put my finger on it. Sad and happy. Not sure what it is.
Right. So I'm listening to Greg as I'm talking to you here. So here is what he thinks is going on. It's almost as if, right. Okay. So I think this happens to a lot of us. You know how we have that calm before the storm? That calm before change doesn't have to be a storm. But we have these moments in our lives where there doesn't seem to be anything happening much either way. Not sad, not happy, as you said, but we're just in this space, and it's almost as if we're in a waiting room. And we're just waiting for something to change, something to be different. Now, a lot of people get impatient when this happens to them. Why am I feeling this way? Maybe I should be doing something. What should I be doing? But these moments of, let's say, quiet, these moments of, as you call it, a void, these moments where we're still or we can be still, we need to take advantage of them because life will throw stuff at us, and we'll be rushing and racing and thinking, and or we'll be doing all of those things. So when you're in this moment of, I don't want to call it void, I want to call it, when we're in this moment of sitting in the waiting room quietly, and we're not thinking one way, we're not thinking another, we're just taking this peace, taking this calm. Let it refresh you, enjoy it. Don't panic because nothing's happening. Don't panic because you're not feeling one way or another. Because at some point, it's almost as if, and when I say the calm before the storm, I'm not panicking you now. I'm not saying that there's a storm coming. What I'm saying is that usually, after these periods, usually it's almost as if our soul is resting, taking a moment, gathering the strength, gathering the energy for that next spurt, good or bad, where we are gathering our strength, we're gathering our energy, we're building light, we're feeding our soul, ready for that next stage to come. So it's usually that prelude to change, good or bad. It could be good. Don't panic here. Don't think, oh gosh, something awful's going to happen. No, it's usually that quiet time that you call it a void, is that time when we can gather ourselves, when our soul can take a rest, take a break, where we feed ourselves so that we can deal with the next stage of whatever's coming to us. Chris.
Maggie had a similar question. She said, I'm still getting that feeling of something coming that has been for a while. Is it something good or should I duck and cover?
Let me tell you, I'm telling you, Maggie, no point ducking because if it's coming, it's coming. And if it's coming at you and it's not so good, you're finding the strength and you're dealing with the strength to deal with it. So, but I actually think that it's going to be, I do think there is a change coming. I think you might have to wait a little while, but I actually think it's going to be, you might think at first it's not so good, but actually I think it's going to turn out really well. Chris.
Wookie Bear saying, missing my son in law. He's been gone 3 years now. I don't feel him around me anymore, but I'm hoping he looks in on me. Any message from him would be nice, but I'd like to know if there are any signs I should watch for from him.
Um, okay, well, when you say you don't feel him around you anymore, in some ways that's a good thing. It means he's busy and he's doing and he's off exploring or whatever he's wanting to do there. Although I'm pretty certain that if you took a moment here and there to listen and to pay attention, you would see him or you would feel him around you. Um, what? Uh, um, right. I don't understand this. I don't pretend to understand it. I don't know if these are signs you should be looking at, but something about stones or rock. Oh, painted rocks? Painted rocks that you should look for, I think. Or maybe you have painted rocks. Don't ask me. There's something about painted rocks. I'm done. That's as much as I can get there. Sorry about that. But it obviously must mean something either to you, to him, or whatever. Rocks, stones and rocks, but painted rocks are important. So maybe you should watch for those. Chris.
Joanna says, good morning, Rosemary. Are there any messages for me? I'm a big fan for a long time since I read your book, The Eagle and the Rose.
Oh, thank you, Joanne. Okay, so today, everybody seems to be asking for messages today, Chris, and unfortunately, uh, the message is about love. The message is the same message as it was last week. Um, see, I'm telling you here, I don't have a message, and I don't have messages. Let's not do this. I just would like to say, Joanne, um, somebody's talking about your, I think it's your teeth, your back tooth or your jaw or something like that that needs fixing, or maybe you've just had it fixed. Uh, and the message is, we're watching you and we're watching over you. Boy, if you understand that, let me know, because I don't understand it, but it could be that you just went to the dentist or something. It's something about your tooth or your jaw or some such going on in the back there. Anyway, there you are. But let us know. Weird things happen. Keep going, Chris.
From Brett Black Eagle saying hello from Black Eagle, maybe Mountain Empty. Hoping a message might come through. You take care.
Where is Black Eagle Mountain? Where is that? I want to know where it is. If you could let me know that, that would be great. And I was going to just say again, we're not doing messages, we're not giving messages. Can you hear me, Chris?
Well, then we're going to erase the whole chat room, Rosemary.
Well, then that's too bad then. But having said that, there is a message. You seem to be very hesitant. It's almost as if you need to take a leap of faith here. You seem to be very hesitant about doing something, and it's important to you. And the message is really clear. And I want to know where Black Eagle Mountain is. If I'm gonna do this for you, you have to let me know where Black Eagle Mountain is. I want to know. But the message is, fly, fly, fly. You can do it. There seems to be, again, I'm going to repeat, there's some hesitancy as to whether you should or should not fly, or should not do whatever it is you want to do. But there's no doubt of it. You need to fly. Fly up into those mountains. Fly, fly, fly. Chris?
It's in Montana.
Oh, where? Well, that doesn't tell me anything, does it? Whereabouts in Montana? Anyway, keep going.
Patricia says, my youngest son will not communicate with me, even though I send gifts for his birthday, Christmas, etc. Can I do anything to help him?
Oh, I hear this so many times, and I don't know if you remember Gary. My friend Gary's coming on. He's listening right now. We're going to be having in March. We're going to we're having with my friend Al Pisano. We're doing a few Everything Is Attitudes, and Gary's going to come in on that show to talk about his experience with an angel, and it had to do with family. And it also, it is about attitude. But I hear this and I see this all the time. And there was a moment in my life, of course, my daughter was much younger then, and she stopped speaking to me for as long as I would let her, which wasn't very long. It's difficult. It's difficult because we don't always know why somebody stops speaking to us. And often people stop speaking to us because we've had some sort of ridiculous communication glitch. We haven't communicated properly our thoughts or our feelings or what have you. I love the fact that you send him birthdays, Christmases, and we could all kick his butt, couldn't we, when we hear that he's not responding or not doing, whatever. I mean, when I say that, you could be the worst mother in the world, and he has every right and understanding to not speak to you. But seeing as you sending him gifts and things, I don't think that's the case. I don't think you're the worst mother in the world at all. I just feel that you need to keep doing what you're doing, If it were me, I have to tell you, I would, wherever he lives, I'd be on a plane or a train or a boat or whatever it was, and I'd go knocking on his door to sort it out with him. If you can't do that, or you prefer not to do that, if you're not a confrontational person, that's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think it might take a while, but I think eventually he will. He seems to be a young man full of anger and resentment, and actually not particularly at you, but more towards himself. And so I think, people who are angry at themselves often justify it by, pointing the finger and blaming other people for whatever happened. I feel so um, sad for you. What I did with my daughter, I called us 3 or 4 times every day, and I just said, just wanted you to know I love you. And then, and I just kept it up, and she didn't answer me, she didn't call, and I just kept it up. So keep sending your cards, keep sending your gifts, try calling, or don't wait for just birthdays or anniversaries. There's nothing wrong with, sending a card once a week or a letter, I just want you to know I love you. That's all we can do as parents, and we have to allow our children their thoughts and their feelings. But I would just keep going as you're going. I'd do more. I would send more. I wouldn't wait just for birthdays or Christmas. I would, sort of once a week, once a month, whatever you feel like. Don't expect a response from him. This is the thing. If you are, love is unconditional. So as long as you just keep letting him know that you love him, don't look for the reward of having him come back to you and say, well, I love you too. Don't expect anything. Do it because your love is unconditional. You just want him to know. And I feel that at some point in the future, it will righten itself for you. In the meantime, my feeling is he needs a good kick up the bum, and maybe a letter once a week or once a month, or just a card, just a nice, pretty card saying, thinking of you, just thinking of you, just, thinking how you're doing or whatever. But send it with love, no expectations. You can be hopeful that he will at some point respond, which I think he will. Killing him with kindness is pretty much what I'm saying here. Just keep sending this stuff to him. But if you expect, you're going to be disappointed. If you're hopeful, I think you will find at some point in the future it will sort itself out. Okay, Chris.
Wayne says, I felt someone blow air onto my cheek, but nobody was there.
Oh,
Could you help him with that?
Don't be silly. Of course there was somebody there. Wayne, you know better than that. So, I say to people all the time, spend 10 or 15 minutes, sit quietly by yourself, take the cell phone off, turn the TV off, just sit quietly and say to those in the spirit world, I'm here for you. You don't have to respond. I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm just want to spend a little bit of time for you. But then you have to pay attention. You might feel someone touch your hair, or you might feel some sort of little brush of a cheek there. And you'll say to yourself, well, that was me, or that was my imagination, that was nothing. But if you keep doing it and you do it on a daily basis, you will find that very often the smallest things will tell you that someone is with you. And I feel I'm telling you what you already know. Years and years ago, I can remember I was in bed and I was sound asleep, and I don't know what woke me up, but I'm a restless sleeper, and I do find myself tossing first one side, then another side, and I've always been that way. I've never been a person who lies still. My daughter, when she's gets out of bed in the morning, you don't even know she's been in bed because she lies still as still can be. I'm the total opposite. And I remember this one time, it's years and years and years ago, and I sort of I was on my left side, and I rolled over and snuggled down into my right side. And as I rolled over, I got this such a strong, strong, strong scent of Brill cream, which was a hair cream they used to use in England years ago. And it had its own very, very distinctive smell. And my father always smelled of Brill cream. I mean, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it. It wasn't something that I was, Daddy, you there or anything. It was just as I rolled over and I smelled this Brill cream, I knew absolutely without asking, without hoping, without expecting. And I just smiled and as I'm rolling over to my right side to go back to sleep, I said, "Hi, Dad." I knew it was him. So when you feel someone touching you, or you have this smell, or you feel someone blowing on you, whatever, you know perfectly well. And I think, young man, you also know perfectly well who it is. Just saying. Chris.
Brett said Black Eagle is in Montana. He's already repeated that. It's named for the Black Eagle Falls on the Missouri River, and it
Oh,
seems to be just left of center in the state.
oh, great. Okay. And did he say he understood the message? Because that's
I haven't
really,
seen that yet.
let's, come on. You got to help me here.
Wookie Bear said I thought about painting rocks, so thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So, okay, keep going.
Judith is asking, is meditation primarily to gain spiritual understanding or to promote bodily/mental healing or both? Thank you.
All of the above. And we're going to talk about that in the tutorials that we're going to be organizing. We're going to be talking about all of these things. Chris.
Joanna responded saying, yes, my jaw is bugging me a lot lately. It cracks a lot, and I have a mouth guard to use it at night. It gives me headaches.
Well, go get it sorted out then. Go get it fixed. And now you know that whoever this is who you've asked for can totally see what's going on. So thank you for responding. We all like to know, don't we? I mean, it's a weird thing to say to somebody. I don't even know where you live. You could live anywhere in the world. And here I am, and here we are, and I'm saying to you, not even knowing you or seeing you, yeah, they're telling me this, there's something. I think it has to do with the tooth, to be honest. I think whatever's going on here, I think it does have something to do with the tooth. So it could be a back tooth that is creating this issue. I'm pretty sure you can get it fixed, but thank you for letting us know that you understood, because honestly, when I say these things, they sound really weird, don't they? But then when all of a sudden, okay, yep, you're right, and this is what's happening, everybody sees how clearly this can work. So thank you for that. Chris.
Vicky's asking, do you have any plans to visit the UK in 2025?
Oh gosh. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. I would love to do that. So we have to wait and see. We have to. I don't have plans at this moment, but I guess I should be making them, shouldn't I? I need to talk to my daughter about what her plans are, but no definite plans. But I really want to come back home, and I really want to see my friends. So keep watching this space. Go to the website and keep checking the website.
Chloe's on and is saying hello.
Hi, Chloe, darling. When I say I want to see my friends, Chloe is I am the second mother to Chloe and her sisters. Um, I'm think I'm the mother that gives the tough love. I think. Chloe, would you say I'm the mother who gives the tough love? What would you say? I'd be interested to know that answer to that question. Okay, keep going, Chris.
Mikey's asking, Rosemary, how do you learn to like someone who has hurt you and your family? I loved this step parent very much.
How do you learn to like someone? Gosh, goodness me. Years and years and years, it feels like 100 years ago now. I remember I was having a house built, and the builder was building a house on the same plot, quite a way away from me, but it was the same plot, and he was building a house that his wife really wanted, but he wouldn't, he didn't want it, so she never got it. And I can remember sitting and talking to her, and the builder was sort of not such a great guy. He was, I mean, I wouldn't ever tell her this, but she knew who he was. I mean, I was much younger and prettier in those days, and he was forever wanting me to go walk down the garden so I could see this, that, and the other, and so he could, you know, uh, do whatever he wanted to do. And I was constantly saying, no, I'm not going to walk down the garden with you. And I think I did, the first time I did walk down the garden with him, I'd got this stick in, it was a very overgrown garden, and the grasses were up, we were almost buried in the grasses, and for some reason picked up a fairly hefty stick that I was using to sort of get through the grasses, and he grabbed me, and I whacked him so hard on with the stick, and basically said, "Don't touch me again." But his wife was lovely, and I remember, although I never told her about that instance, she knew what he was and who he was, and I remember her saying to me once, you're all wondering where I'm going with this, aren't you? I remember her saying to me once, Rosemary, I don't like him, but I love him. And I've always found it rather strange that you can love someone that you don't actually like. I can't quite equate the two things, because when we love someone, we love them because of all of the good things about them. We love them for who they are and what they are. And if we find things about them that we don't like, it doesn't stop you. I mean, it depends how many things about a person you really don't like. If you really don't like that person, I don't see how you can love them. But there we are. It's just me. How do you like someone? Um, I think the only thing you can do in this case is to try, if you can, to put aside your likes and dislikes. If you love this person, and if there are things about this person and traits about this person that you can love, I think you need to focus on those and forget the liking part of it, like or dislike. If you dislike a person enough, then you're going to be in that person's space, is going to be toxic. So I don't know I can't tell you how to learn to like someone. I can only say to you, if you love this person enough, focus on the good things and let the negative things go. If there comes a point where you see these negative things affecting other people in a harmful way, or you see these negative things affecting you in a harmful way, my suggestion is run. Get away from the toxicity. I'm surprised I can say that word. Get away from the toxicity is what I would say. Chris.
Carol's saying, please don't forget to give us your health drink details. I've pen in hand, and you're right at
Okay.
12 o'clock now.
I've given this out before, but I will do it again it was Mark, wasn't it? Who was not feeling so great. This is a great drink. It's, I take it every morning. Are we ready? Okay. So we begin with 1 cup of hot water, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 to 2 teaspoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 to 2 fluid ounces of pure lemon juice. Now, this is the way I do it. I take the hot water, I put the cinnamon in, and I stir it around. Then I add the honey and stir it around. Then I add the olive oil and the lemon juice, and I give it all a good stir. You have to take this drink. It sounds awful. Somebody said to me, "Oh, olive oil. It's got to be extra virgin olive oil, by the way. Olive oil, and no, it sounds awful, but actually it's delicious." What I do, you've got to drink it on an empty stomach so that your stomach absorbs, gets into your bloodstream, and it creates this really, really great feeling. You take it, right, Marilou?
Mm-hmm.
Do you take it every day?
Mm-hmm.
So I take it every day. I won't say I haven't missed a day or two here or there if I, for whatever reason, but mostly I take it every morning. People are saying to me, "What did you do? You look so well, you look so healthy." And this is an amazing drink. Now, I took it when I was really, really sick a year or so ago, whenever it was. I got this recipe from Dr. Alan Mandel, who you can find on YouTube. He's great. That I'm not telling you to follow him. I'm not telling you to do what he tells you to do. I'm just saying, for me, he's great, and he has some great ideas. Anyway, so I got this drink from him, and it works. So I'd been taking this drink for about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days, and I started to feel better, and I wasn't coughing as much. And I'm thinking, then it's my imagination. I'm overthinking this. Just because I'm taking it doesn't mean, you can fool yourself into it. Well, within 2 weeks, I was feeling so much better. Within a month, I was brilliant. Stopped coughing, no coughing at all. And here I am a year later, still taking it. And my grandson sometimes will say to me, "Did you take your drink today, Mosey?" And I just think it's just something that makes you feel better. It's great for your vascular health. I think it's just, for me, it's just a great drink. I take it. Other people have their things that they take, but for me, it works. That's all I can tell you. So if you want to know more, go to YouTube and look for Dr. Alan Mandel. He's a chiropractor, but he has amazing guests on. He has, heart doctors. He has all sorts of people on his show, but he's great. I love him. And, he's fascinating to watch. So that's my remedy for me. That's something I'm suggesting, Mark, that you should take, especially if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling really sick and coughing and not feeling great. This is the drink for you on an empty stomach. So I'll tell you again, the hot water, then I put in the cinnamon and stir it. Then I put in the honey, and then the olive oil, and then the lemon juice. And when I'm drinking it, I like to keep a spoon in there. When I'm drinking it, I stir it, from time to time as I'm drinking it down. You don't have to drink it all in one gulp, but it takes me maybe, I don't know, it's like having a cup of tea, because I'm not allowed tea, I'm not allowed coffee, and I drink this drink, and I love it. It's brilliant. There it is. We have time for one more question, Chris.
Chloe said yes to your answer.
I'm the tough mum.
Yeah, she said, "I understand that. I really love my dad, but I do struggle to like him sometimes."
Right. Yeah. No, I know Chloe's dad, so I get that. But he's such a nice guy. So he's worth the giving time to. Anything else, Chris?
Mikey responded, "Thank you, Rosemary. I have let this step parent go. It is hard to hear about this person as they are in my daughter's life."
Right. It's tough. It's hard. Anyway, well, thank you all for joining me. We shall be, if you want to know what else we're doing, go to the website. We will be starting the tutorial soon. We're also looking for people who volunteers for the bottom brick exercise. We'd like to do more of that. We're going to be doing more healing, and we're going to be, as I say, we're going to be doing the tutorials. We'll let you know about that. And there are people who've asked if they can have a copy of the event that we did with Grey Eagle. Don't think we've forgotten. We just have to come up with a fair price for sending out those copies. And you know me, we're not going to be charging huge amounts of money, but it is certainly something worth listening to, worth participating in. That's for sure. So thank you all for joining me. I'm going to say thanks to Chris. Of course, I'm going to say thank you to Grey Eagle. I'm going to say thank you to Mary Lou for the help this morning that she gave to me. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here. Anyway, so thank you, everybody. Please, please, please have a very blessed rest of the day, and have a very, I'm so excited. My daughter and my grandson are coming on Saturday, so we're going to have a whole week of just them. Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, so have a very blessed rest of the day, everyone, and have a very blessed rest of the weekend. And hopefully I shall see you next Thursday. Yes, you will perhaps even have a glimpse of my grandson. He may be joining me next Thursday for our show. And so until I see you again, please, everyone, be kind, be loving, be thoughtful, not just to everybody else, but to yourself as well. It is important. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.